Hey, this is John Brettle, and this is my video submission for Sales Pros of 2024 for the MEA Awards. And here I am in beautiful Utah, and this is where I currently work at. Pro Audio, Pro 4x4. Again, my name is John Brettle. I am the general manager at Pro Audio Pro 4x4 in Provo, Utah. I've been here for only about, at this point, 3 months. You may know me or have seen me in some of the other videos that I've done for Installer of the Year, or just my Meshman channel on YouTube, where I talk about laser engraving and cutting. But this video is about Sales Pro, because I have been honestly a salesman or salesperson for several years, and just now realizing how much of a salesperson I've become. Brief work history would be several years at a shop in Northern Virginia called Automotive Designs. Then from there went to another shop in Northern Virginia called New Sound, where I got to know and talk to Chris McNulty, who worked at another local shop up there called Sound Solutions. And when I left New Sound, I went to work with Chris McNulty at Sound Solutions. Was there for a few years, then moved down to Atlanta, took a job at Cartoons of Atlanta, and I was there for about 15 and a half years. Decided to move to Utah, so I left there, decided to pursue just doing my other business, the Meshman, trying to expand and grow that. Got it to a certain point, realized that I needed to get back into actual retail 12 volt. So a job opportunity came to me to go to work for the first Tint World in Utah. And I did that for about 9 months. And another opportunity arose to go down to Provo, where I am currently, to work with some people that I already know, or already knew, and help them to grow and just kind of elevate to the next level. As for sales philosophy, where it originated, or I don't know. I don't know that I have a sales philosophy, honestly. I'm just an honest person. I try to be as kind and as polite to a client or customer, and be as real as I can with them when it comes to pricing or how a product performs or something like that, using my experience with certain products or whatever. And that's part of the reason why I don't think I ever really consider myself a salesman. But I've been selling basically myself. When I was an installer for so long, I was selling custom fabrication jobs, which was basically selling what I do, to the customer. And it kind of all just came together. And here I am, top 5 sales pro. And I'm sure of a lot of the sales techniques, if you want to call them that I use, that I don't even realize I use, because everything just seems to be natural and just how I am as a person. I'm sure a lot of that I've just learned along the way. Being in the industry for 30 something years, you get to meet a lot of people, and you get to learn a lot from a lot of people, which I just love doing. I love to meet new people. I love to talk to people. And I guess that's just a personality trait of mine. Now, this next part that I'm supposed to discuss is, performance and things like that, and percentages and whatnot. Well, like I mentioned, I've only been here at this particular shop for 3 months. So hard to make a comparison between now and last year at this time, because I wasn't at this shop. I was at a brand new Tent World, so we were just, we weren't super busy. We weren't doing, didn't have a high volume of sales and that kind of thing. Whereas here, we do crank out some work and have a lot of customers come in and call and things like that. So look for me next year. If I don't win this year and and I compete again next year, then I will be able to have a good comparison. I could talk about how I've tried to my numbers for Meshman from last year to this year, but the problem is last year I was doing a little bit more with Meshman than I am this year, because I am so busy full time at Pro Audio. So now I guess we get into the little sales skit and go that direction. I'd like to thank my install manager, Colton Wadley, for helping me out with this. He's a great dude, does a great job in this in his role in this as the customer and as himself. So uh, I hope you enjoy, and I hope it answers all the questions it needs to answer. Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
What brings you in today?
Looking to get a new radio.
Okay.
Something. It's a '03 truck, and
Okay. Chevy, Ford?
it's Chevy.
Okay. '03 Chevy Silverado.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1500?
Yeah.
Okay. You know if you have Bose in it or not?
I think so.
You think you got center console?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You got Bose. Okay. Let me put this down real quick. I tell you what. Let's get you into our system really quick. Come over here. Add you in. What's your first name?
Jake.
All right. What's your last name, Jake?
Wadley. Wadley.
Okay. And you got a phone number?
Yeah. 801-555-5555.
All right. We're going to save that. You said it was a '03.
Yeah. '03 Silverado.
Fingers aren't working today.
Tell me about it.
1500. And we're going to put a little note in here that says no Bose or has Bose.
Has Bose, yeah.
With Bose. All right, we'll save that up. We'll get you started on a new estimate here for you. What I like to do first is I like to go ahead and find all the parts and everything we need. And then we can talk about what kind of radio you want. We can talk about that while I'm doing this.
Okay.
Are you interested in doing a CarPlay style radio?
Yeah.
You heard about CarPlay and Android Auto and stuff like that?
Yeah. My old lady's got one. The newer Toyota, and she really likes it.
You like how it works and functions and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me look up a part real quick. I know we need a dash kit. Then we need wiring harness. Need something to tie into that Bose system. We need antenna adapter. So let me get all this stuff on here. Here. Now, have you heard about going wireless or wired with CarPlay?
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be a little bit more convenient for the wireless.
Okay. Well, so here's my thing, and this is the way I look at it. What's one of the first things you do when you get in your truck when you're getting ready to go somewhere with your phone?
Normally, I just plug it in.
Because you want to charge it while you're driving, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, it's kind of, in my personal opinion, pointless to spend the extra money to go wireless, right? You can, because there is a convenience factor to it, especially some of the ladies out there that carry it in their purse and stuff like that. They don't want to have to dig it out of their purse. So if it's convenient for them to do that, right? I don't carry a purse or a bag or anything like that. So I always have it in my back pocket. First thing I do is I pull down my pocket, and I got to find somewhere in my vehicle to put it. And I put it and I plug it and sit it down. So
makes sense.
So going wired, it's actually going to save you right about $200 because I have a wired one from Alpine. It's an ILX 407. Great little radio. Has backup camera inputs. You can add Sirius XM to it. You can do all kinds of other stuff with it, but it's a great radio to start out with. And it is wired CarPlay. And what we can do and what we typically do is we also include the installation of a flush mount USB. So because nobody wants to see cords hanging out of their dash, right?
Yeah.
So on the right-hand side of that dash in that truck, I believe you have a small cigarette lighter or a 12-volt outlet.
Yeah.
So what we do is we pull that out and we put a flush mount USB right there that ties into the back of the radio.
Yeah, I like that.
And then you get in, you plug your lightning cord or Android cord in, whatever it is, and boom, there you go. You got it, right?
Awesome.
Now, one thing I'm curious about is because it's an '03, I don't think they had backup cameras on those, and
no,
I know they didn't. You ever thought about getting a backup camera?
All the time. Every time I try to back up to my trailer.
Right. Yeah. So let me add that on here. They actually have a really nice one for that truck that's available, and it actually replaces the tailgate handle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you pull the tailgate handle out, put this in. It's got a camera built right into it,
Oh,
and it's
that's
pointed
awesome.
kind of down towards the tailgate there, or towards the trailer hitch for you.
Awesome.
Add that on here. So that installed. What we can do? When were you looking to try to get something like this done?
I'd love to get it done today if possible.
Oh, okay. Let me check my schedule over here. Day. I actually do have an opening. Okay, so did you have an idea of how much something like this was going to run? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I was planning on spending a couple $100. I don't know.
A couple $100. That would be nice. So let me break this down for you the way it works out. Okay. So every radio that goes in, we have to put a dash kit in. We have to put a harness of some kind to adapt over to the factory radio,
Okay.
or the factory wiring, antenna adapter usually in most cars. So all those parts, no matter what radio we pick, need to be done. Plus, there's also labor to actually physically install the radio,
Gotcha.
and all the accessories and parts that go with it. So just in labor, just so you know, we are looking at, with the backup camera, $520.
Okay.
Okay, so we're already over your couple $100, right? Just
Right.
in the labor portion of it. You need to get that.
No, it's an alarm.
Okay. And then with the radio is $449. Okay, and
Okay.
all the parts added up. Now the biggest expense besides the radio is going to be the part that we're tying into that Bose system, because that's a class 2 data bus system in that truck, and it's not like it used to be back in the day, right? Where you could just slap a deck in something and power it up. And there's communication that has to happen. And then the backup camera is $199. Okay. So total out the door, tax installed, everything done, you'd be at $1,641.87.
Okay.
Does that still work for you?
It was a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay. Let me pull some papers out here and get them printed, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to text my tech and get him to come up front and get this going for you.
So, how much more would it be to do the wireless CarPlay?
The wireless CarPlay would literally bump it. I believe it's $200, because going to wireless, it would take you up to the 507 versus the 407,
Okay.
and the 507 is $649 versus $449.
Gotcha.
So, and I can definitely do that. I've got that in stock.
Okay.
That's totally up to you.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's just stick with the
lower one,
plug it
the
in.
plug it in. Okay.
Yeah,
no problem. Cool. Well, there's a waiting room right around the corner.
Okay.
I'll come over and get the keys from you in a minute once I get all this stuff printed out, and then I'll get my tech up here and we'll get it going for you.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Meg, can you get these parts pulled? Just sit on the parts counter. This guy's going to do this right now, and I'm going to call or text Colton to come up and get him. Oh, hey, you got my text?
Hey, yeah, I did. Here's the last one. Good to
All right.
go.
Awesome. Thank you.
No
And
problem.
he's waiting in the showroom over there. So we're
Okay.
going to go ahead and get that, take it knocked out. Meg already pulled the parts. They should be sitting back on the sales count or in the parts counter.
Gotcha.
Flush mount in the far right cigarette lighter or 12-volt outlet.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Thanks. And now we're going to follow up with the follow-up practice of my sales and what typically goes on. And that's actually going to lead into the phone skit. So here we go. Hey, is this Jake? Hey, Jake. Yeah, this is John from Pro Audio. How you doing today? Awesome, awesome. Hey, I was just kind of check in with you, see how that radio's working out. You love it? Yeah, it's a great radio. I told you it's a great radio. Yeah. Uh huh. Oh yeah, yeah. We do remote starts too. Oh, it is getting kind of cold out there, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Hang on a second. I remember. Let's see. That was a you had a 2003, right? Let me pull up some info on it. I seem to remember you didn't have any key fobs, right? You had lost the key fobs. You had power door locks, but you lost the key fobs to that, didn't you? Yeah. Okay. So remote start keyless entry would be ideal, right? Okay. Let me see what we got going on here. Okay. Yeah, and just like with the radio, there is some data going on in that to interface with the door lock system in there. Um, yeah. Let me work something up for you really quick. Let me pull you back up. Get your new estimate going. So I've really got two options that would work great for you. I have a four button style remote start. That would give you a four button transmitter. It would have a separate button for lock, unlock, and remote start. The fourth button on a truck you don't need. It's a tailgate or a trunk button, and with the tailgate you don't need that. Um, but I also have a one button, which is a little bit less expensive, and the one button allows you to lock, unlock, and remote start, and you do that just by single press on the button will lock your doors. A double press on the button will unlock your doors, and then if you press and hold for 3 seconds, it'll remote start the truck. They're a little bit smaller of a transmitter. Yeah, they work about 1,000 feet away, so you have really good range. Um, you like you like the one button option? Okay. Yeah, something like that is going to run you. Let me see here. Oh, here it is right here. Installed with tax, that's probably going to run you right about 477.78. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's not bad at all. Um, you want me to get you on the schedule for that? Okay. Give me 1 second here. Um, how does so? Oh, I got Wednesday open. I could probably get you in around noon. You want to do that? Okay. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Let me get you on the schedule. Yeah, I mean, so I'll send this invoice over to you too, so you can see the breakdown. It's going to say about 1 and 3/4 hour to do the install on it. I usually like to make sure we have the vehicle here for about 3 hours because sometimes I have to pull my tech up front to answer questions, that kind of thing. And yeah, yeah. So I just want to make sure we get it done right. Oh yeah, I mean, you can drop it off at 9 o'clock in the morning if you want. Yeah, we close at 6. Uh huh. Okay. Yeah. Let me get it here. I'm just going to put you down for all day. Obviously, it's not going to take all day. And yeah, so you'll be able to get a ride. Okay. And are you good to get a text on this phone number? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect. So what's going to happen is when I create this, which I actually just did, it's actually going to send you a text, um, and then it's going to yeah, it'll have a spot there for where you can confirm. And the day before, so on Tuesday, the day before, it'll actually send you a reminder text, and you can confirm on that text. Perfect. Yeah, and if you have any questions, yeah, just hit me up. Yep, and you can even text back to that number if you don't have time for a phone call or something. Okay, awesome, perfect. Thanks, Jake. Okay, my personal growth over the past year and goals and such. So over the past year, I've went from only running the Mesh Man to working at a tent world as a sales manager to now being a general manager at Pro Audio and Pro 4x4. So the growth that I've gone through has really been life changing, I guess would be the easiest thing to say, because I went from working at home by myself with one-on-one communication with clients and stuff like that, and also doing the manufacturing of the parts I sold, and shipping and all that stuff, to jumping into a whole new world at Tint World. Um, Something I hadn't really experienced because I'd never worked in car audio or 12 volt on a corporate level at that. Granted, I was still in a retail store, but it was it definitely feels more corporate run. The guys there were great, and that really helped me kind of hone in on more of my sales skills, just by being, well, the sales manager and needing to be upfront, and also helping to guide um, the two of the guys that I worked with there, because this was all brand new to them. They've never been in 12 volt. Uh, they were there simply because their father was the owner. He brought them in. He wanted to leave them this legacy of a Tint World store or two or three. And they were great guys, have great personalities, but kind of guiding them down the 12 volt pathway for the 12 months that I was there, or 9 months, excuse me. Talking product and getting them a little bit more up to speed on what everything is and what it does. Goals for like the future would be to actually be able to step back farther away from the salesperson aspect of what I'm doing right now, and spend more time in the general manager position that I was originally hired for. Um, because the more time I can spend doing that, the the bigger growth I think we'll see for the company itself. We are in the process of doing a lot of changes and a lot of stuff, uh, showroom wise and that kind of thing, to get things better organized, appearance wise. It'll look better and stuff like that. So look out for us next year in the top 12 for retailer. Okay. But yeah, we're growing, and we're trying to maintain uh, a family feel, because that's it's a family run business, but we want to grow and we want to expand the reach that we have beyond the clientele they're used to having. But yeah, the more I can spend away from the sales counter and directing my focus on keeping inventory straight and doing managerial things, I think is going to be the most beneficial for the future, and that's my goal. One of the things that I have been doing since I've been at Pro Audio is to help everybody else be able to sell a little bit easier, make things flow a little bit smoother. Is we use the software we use, the POS we use is Shop Monkey. And one of the nice things about Shop Monkey is you can create a thing called canned services, where you can go in and literally put, you can call it, let's say, basic radio install, and you can have a line item for a kit, a line item for a harness, line item for a radio, steering wheel adapter, whatever. Um, and have that set up in there. And I started doing that when I was at Tint World, especially because those guys there had no clue really what was needed to even install a radio. So by creating a canned service, it makes things flow a little bit easier. So um, I've really been jumping into that, hard, trying to get basic amp installs, radio installs, remote starts, that kind of stuff, so that there's something in there that has at least the line items, so that you know what to look for. And I think that's really helped everybody else when they happen to come up front to sell, because there is more than just me that sells at Pro Audio. And I think that really does help influence growth and things like that with my coworkers and the other folks at the shop, to make it easier, and it also helps us stay more consistent with every client that comes in. So we're not just kind of grabbing numbers out of the air and that kind of thing. We have a way of just boom, 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 and completing a process. And now I guess it's time for a little bit of an endorsement. So I will send it over to my buddy Colton Wadley, my install manager. Um, yeah, enjoy this.
So obviously, I did the blind nomination for John because, I mean, let's just face it, everybody in the industry that has been around John has all seen quite clearly how much of an influence he is on this industry, how much of a great guy that he is. the shenanigans that he gets involved in during said events. Um, he's absolutely.
Did you want to hold these?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. If you know, you know. You know. I am incredibly grateful that John has chosen to be a part of our team, and I am incredibly grateful for having John as a friend and as a coworker. Uh, those of you who do know John know exactly what I'm talking about, uh, and that relationship that he brings, the warmness that he brings, the genuine desire to learn and to grow and to be a better installer or person in the industry. So uh, please vote for John for Salesperson of the Year.
So I realized while editing the video that I misread the this part of the question. I was under the impression that it was similar to previous years when I was doing Installer of the Year, that it was who are your industry influences, meaning who has had an effect on you over the years. So that is actually how I answered the question. I'm going to leave that part in here because I think it's important. Um, but as far as who maybe I have influenced, um, kind of tough to say. I've really only been coming into my own as a salesperson over the past couple of years, or as a dedicated salesperson over the past couple of years. Um, I do think that I still have an influence on, you know, some of my close friends, such as Chris McNulty, who is definitely an influence of mine, as you'll hear in the next portion of this video. Um, Coming up with an example of how I've influenced him, I can't off the top of my head, um, but I just know that we talk quite a bit, and we bounce ideas back and forth with each other. So I'd like to think that there's some things that some wise words that maybe I've said and he's picked up on and have helped him out. So yeah. So I mentioned earlier being in the industry for about 30 years, and you meet a lot of people, you know a lot of people, and you get to talk to a lot of people, and you get influenced and learn from, and maybe even help out and teach others, and that kind of thing. Um, I mentioned Chris McNulty, got to be my best friend in the industry, if not even outside of the industry. We talk quite frequently, just checking in to see how each other's doing, or if we have an idea, run it past each other, that kind of thing. So he's got to be probably my number one influence. I can remember going to Knowledge Fest back into my first one back in 2014, I think it was. Sitting in Ken Ward's classes about sales and that kind of thing. That was just awesome. Learning how to identify different clients and how to treat different clients. Yeah, I mean, there's way too many to sit here and list. Just about everybody in the industry has had some kind of impact on me and my sales procedure. Even when I was installing and how I installed, and just my thoughts. And what I see myself doing in years to come. Everything I do has been affected by everybody I've met, I think, and I think that's true with anybody. I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and I enjoy every bit of it. And so now we should have an endorsement from hopefully one of those people. I've reached out. We'll see what I get.
Hello, people of MEA. This is Chris McNulty from Electromedia. I was asked by a good friend of mine, John Brettle, if I might be willing to say something on his behalf as to why he should be the award winner for the Mobile Electronics Industry Sales Pro of the Year award. And first thing that I thought was, I always root for my friends, so yeah, sure, I'll say something nice about you. It can't hurt. Then I thought to myself, what exactly does the Sales Pro mean? Why is John the guy that should win it? And what I did is I thought back to many of the other sales pros that have won in the past, folks that are friends of mine. You go back to the inaugural winner, Elias Ventura, very good friend of mine. I've known Elias for well over a decade. You go to Jason Cook, you go to Rob Kovacs, you go to Dan Bowman. There's another guy who was in Portland went to Vegas. I don't know, I'll remember Jason something or other, Kranitz, I don't know. Guy I know pretty well. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at those folks that won and why they won, what made them the sales pro, because it's not a very definable thing. So what I looked at is being able to sell something is a trait that you can come up with, and a lot of people will sell based on sales techniques and assuming the sale and reduction of ridiculous and reading Zig Ziglar and this kind of stuff, and it's all sales techniques and tactics, and it's like running a marathon or a steeplechase or doing a decathlon. You learn these things that allow you to become a better salesperson, and that's great, and that's one way to do it, and many people strive to do that and succeed very well. But what I've noticed with the guys that have won the award, they know how to talk to people, they know how to relate to people, and they're also experts in what they do. There are very, very, very few people in this industry that know more about the ins and outs of actual installation, gear, how it works, how it goes in, what it takes to make things work than John. Being an installer for 25 plus years, it's hard to overlook his level of expertise and understanding. That's his biggest tool and his biggest asset. What I found is that many of the guys who have worked in the Bay before, and I don't know if Rob did, but I know for a fact that Elias started out as an installer, and Jason Kranitz for sure, and Jason Cook has done his fair share of installs. They understand what it takes to do the work. They understand how to make things happen and what things need to be done. And that level of knowledge and expertise gives them the ability to allow a customer to understand that they're being taken care of. So the game, it's not a game anymore. It's truth and honesty and experience. So again, my answer to the question, why do I think John Brettle should be the installer of the year? Number one, he doesn't know everything. He knows a lot of things and a lot about a lot of things. What he also knows is something that I know and some of the most successful people in the industry. He knows the other people to call when he's stuck. And he's not embarrassed to not know an answer. Again, these are the traits and the characteristics that to me make him the guy who should represent what a sales pro in this industry should be. It's knowledge, it's experience, it's understanding, it's the willingness to learn. He and I talk for hours. He's got an hour commute now to and from his shop, and we'll sit on the phone for an hour and only be halfway done with the conversation about different ideas, whether it comes to merchandising or attachment or upselling to a better performance level of gear, or, those type of things. After 30 years of him doing this, he still asks the questions. So if I had a vote, I don't this year, but if I had a vote, I think that my vote would go to John Brettle for Sales Pro of the Year. Good luck, buddy.
So the big question, the hardest question, right? I don't think it's that hard, really. Why do I think I deserve it? Because I put everything I have into being the best I can be at whatever I'm doing. That's it, plain and simple. And if that's not enough, then I will try harder. That's because that's just who I am. And if I were to win, how would I give back? I would give back by easily. I haven't been that vocal in a lot of the sales forums and things like that this year because I'm still settling in. I'm still settling into being a salesperson. So I think I would just spend more time, doing that and helping to coach people and that kind of thing. Because I love to teach people. I love to tell people or give people ideas and get their mind working into how they can possibly change what they're doing to make things easier for them or make things work better for them. Because that's really all this is it's figuring out a way to provide to your client what your client wants while also giving them what they need and also being able to make money doing it. And sometimes that requires educating the customer. Sometimes that requires breaking things down into stages and steps so that they can get to their ultimate goal without coming out of pocket maybe right off the top, but knowing how to build it in steps. And then also just being honest, being real, because that's all I do. I don't have a hook. I don't have a pitch. Um, I'm just myself. Yeah, I'm just I just do me. That's it. And that's what I think a lot of people are failing. If they're not able to close a deal or close a sale, it might be because they're trying too hard to follow a guideline that was given to them years ago. As odd as it sounds, I've always been one that feels like, sometimes it's okay to say no. Sometimes it's okay to let somebody walk, because you want to build a client base, and that client base should have some of the same beliefs that you do in what they're going after, if that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Um, Thank you to MEA for putting on the awards. I will see you all in Vegas, and if you stick around just a little bit, you might laugh a little bit with some of these outtakes. Thank you. Gonna be recording it for a little bit, and then we'll just. You can just. You do you.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna leave or be.
No. Either way, you're gonna see it. So.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Okay. So obviously, what is the word? Submitted? Oh, blind nomination, right?
Yeah.
And for those who know, I wholeheartedly endorse him for.
Sales pro. Sales pro of the year.
Say it.
Yep, sales.
John, stop beating me, okay? I am begging you, please vote for John. He beats me. And I really don't know how many bruises I can hide before it becomes a problem. Please vote for John.
These people just try to find a quiet spot to record a video in your car, and you're sitting here, and well, you picked a park, and more people showed up. In years, you get to meet a lot of people. Down the 12-volt pathway for the 9 months when I was there. 12-volt path for to help not just myself but other people when they're trying to. Fucker. I'm still settling in. I'm still settling into being a salesman.